Hello everyone, and thank you for watching. I have changed my review videos to drop at Fridays at 5 instead of noon because I want to give you something fun to listen to while you drive home from work. Okay, here we go with today's reviews. I have some really good ones for you today. Actually, I have really good ones for you all the time, but today is no different. So for your classroom, and if I've talked about this book before, I don't mind talking about it again. It is G. Willow Wilson's run of Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel dropped, she appeared in Marvel Comics. Her first issue was in 2013, and in 2014 they unleashed her own series. She is a Pakistani Muslim American teenage girl, first Muslim woman character to get her own run of a storyline, and it is absolutely great. Now you notice my book is pretty beat up here, right? There's like coffee stains on it. That's because so many students have read this book, and in the time of Corona, it's weird to think about like just giving books and handing out books. But back in the day when we could just share books, this book was never on my shelf. So I had a few copies of this. Kids love this book. It is super fun. If you have not read G. Willow Wilson's run on Miss Marvel, I definitely would read it and put it on my shelf. The art is super fun and cool, and she is such a neat character. It's funny. It's heartwarming. She deals with issues of her religion and her family and being just a teenager. It is a really neat book for everybody. G. Willow Wilson, Miss Marvel, Marvel Comics, definitely one to pick up, read for yourself, put on your classroom shelf. You could even do a class set of this one. This week, so there was a new, I don't know, if last week I talked about my Iron Man Alex Ross cover. So I'm collecting all those Alex Ross covers. Well, this week, there was a cool She-Hulk Alex Ross cover. So the Immortal SheHulk came out, #1, and it happened to be, not all the Alex Ross covers are #1s, which is kind of a bummer. Some of them are just like in the middle of runs, but I was lucky enough to pick this one up. Now, I have been a fan of She-Hulk since Charles Soule's and Javier Pulido's run of She-Hulk. This book was fantastic, and I really loved the kind of simplicity of the art in this book. Really, really strong, stark colors. The storyline was really fun. It focused on her being a lawyer and being a superhero. I read this whole run. I think it was too short. I think it was ended before its time. Really, really liked this. So when I saw the Immortal SheHulk #1 come out this week, and it was an Alex Ross cover, I was pretty excited. Now, when I started reading it, not so much. There's a lot going on here. It's pretty complicated. Once again, a Marvel story that the good thing about this Charles Soule one is that you didn't really need to know the character or need to know anything that was happening in the Marvel universe to pick this up and go. It was there for you. This one, you kind of need, it helps if you know a little bit about characters and a little bit about Marvel timelines and storylines. As somebody who's not looking to get into that mythology right now, this ain't added to my pull list, but I do dig this cover, and I will show you. I like to talk about the funny ad placements in Marvel Comics. Here's a great one. So on this page, you got She-Hulk smashing a dude's face into a hospital bed, and he's bleeding, and then it's like, hey, here's some Marvel Legos for kids, and look at this one too. This came out this week. This is from the new Juggernaut. There was a new Juggernaut #1 that came out this week. I don't have a lot of time to talk about that one, but he's talking to these kids, and he says, get off your bleeping phones and help me. So he's like, bleeping out an F word possibly there. Next page. Oh, look at this, Paw Patrol. It's like, that's not Paw Patrol. I'm sorry. The art looks like Paw Patrol. It's Adventure Academy for Kids. My bad. Adventure Academy for Kids. So get off your effing phones. And hey, Adventure Academy for Kids right next to each other. Oh, Marvel. I'm kind of really liking this. Maybe I put together a book of just crazy ads next to inappropriate images for kids. Crazy. All right. I'm going to go over another graphic novel for you this week, and this can also be for your classroom because it is another fantastic book, and this is Jill Thompson's Wonder Woman, the True Amazon. Written and art by Jill Thompson. Cool story of Wonder Woman as she is a young girl growing up, and the problems and issues that she faces as a kid. She's kind of a jerk, and being a jerk growing up, she learns a lot about what you should and shouldn't do and how you should and shouldn't act. So it is basically a coming of age story where she just does a lot of very strange, kind of not nice things to people and learns from those. So this is a great tale of changing, of learning who you are as a person and kind of growing from that. And the art is absolutely beautiful. It's self-contained. It wasn't in single issues. This just came out as a graphic novel. So it's not one you have to worry about 400 issues of. I really liked Wonder Woman, the True Amazon from DC Comics. Pick it up, put it on your classroom shelf. All right. Nonfiction this week is going to be Tillie Walden's Spinning. Tillie Walden's Spinning. It's a fat graphic novel, but the panels are very big, and there's not tons and tons and tons of words. So don't worry about having to take weeks to finish this book. You will finish it in a couple sittings. The most impressive thing about this book, now it's a autobiographical piece by Tillie Walden about growing up in this ice skating world, but she had parents that were maybe a little bit more detached than some parents were, and she was also dealing with issues of her sexuality, and she was in this world of ice skating, which she probably didn't really want to be as much as she was. There's a lot going on that she's being very honest and vulnerable on the pages of this book. So the story and the reality of what's happening there is great. I'm going to get the years wrong a little bit here, but I want to say like this book was published when Tillie Walden was about 19 years old, which means that she had to be working on this thing when she was in high school, probably kind of starting that story, and if not like right into college. So, and if you haven't been following her work has just kind of grown in complexity. I've read, I think 3 of her books now, and this is still my favorite. Like I really like this book. I think it's so simple and powerful that it's my favorite book by hers. So that is your nonfiction title of the week, and that's Spinning by Tillie Walden. Once again, everybody, read everything yourself before you put it in front of students. If you're just picking stuff up for you, cool, no big deal. But because you get a recommendation from me on this YouTube channel, don't just automatically assume, oh, Callenborn said it's good for some classes. So don't necessarily assume that, right? Just read everything yourself before you put things in front of kids. So thanks for watching. Remember, I'm switching my Friday videos from noon to 5 p.m. A couple reasons I wanted to do that. One, just to kind of let them drop in the middle of the afternoon. And if you wanted to listen to them on your ride home, it'd be a little bit fresher in your feed. So have a wonderful week and stop back. Remember, Wednesdays are the educational videos, Friday are the review videos, and I will see you soon.